Greetings, folks. Bill, the man from Kentucky, here once again with part 2 of this little saga of ours. Gaming journalist websites such as The Escapist, Kotaku, Destructoid, along with other news media sites such as The New Statesman, Feminist Geek, have all reported on this controversy without actually doing any form of research as to why there was such a negative outcry from the gaming community. This lack of research is evident seeing as these quote-unquote journalists insinuated the 5,000 plus comments on Feminist Frequency's video were provided by the sexist trolls. This could not be further from the truth. The majority of the comments on Feminist Frequency's videos were actually very civil, albeit dissenting opinions on the subject. These posts were made a day before the online press released their articles. On top of that, after reading all of the articles that address this controversy, I have noticed that all of them say the same thing almost to the point where it's word for word. They all quote the exact same YouTube comments that were highlighted on Feminist Frequency's blog. They all claim that she received emails that threatened her with sexual assault and death without providing any proof that these emails even existed. They all quote Annetta's post or work the same phrases used in Annetta's post into their own articles, and it's probably safe to say that they all use the same one source, Feminist Frequency's blog. The Mary Sue even goes on to compare this situation to the drama that surrounded Jennifer Hepler during the Mass Effect 3 outcry, and compared the gamers' outcry against Feminist Frequency to the now infamous behavior showcased in the Crossfire video. The way these arguments against Feminist Frequency were taken out of context and strawmanned are the exact same tactics that the gaming press used when they addressed the fan reaction to Mass Effect 3 while completely ignoring how poorly BioWare and EA acted in that situation. They completely ignored the fact that BioWare had instituted a totalitarian method of fourm moderation where anyone who spoke up, no matter how civil they were, their posts were deleted. And of course, EA simply spun the fan reaction to work in their favor with this ad. Now, during the Mass Effect 3 controversy, gaming journalists such as Colin Moriarty at IGN and Bob Chapman, aka Movie Bob at The Escapist, started using the term gamer entitlement in order to discredit anyone who disliked Mass Effect 3 in any aspect, whether it be the ending, the beginning, or the overall glitchy, rushed production of the game. The gaming journalists also used this tactic to distract the audience from the elephant in the room, which was IGN's complete and utter bias towards EA, as evident by not only their 9.5 score of an overall lackluster game, but the fact that their entire page was covered in ads for Mass Effect 3, and the fact that Jessica Chobot, their poster child, their poster girl, was in the game as someone that you could be with, I suppose, is the best way to put that. Yet, you also have gaming journalists such as Jim Sterling, who claim to be pro-consumer, who claim that the consumer have more rights than people like EA and Activision and will admit to. Yet, one of the main rights that a consumer should have is information, is facts. And in his last video, Why People Hate EA, he went after EA only after IGN asked EA why people hate EA, instead of holding IGN to task for essentially showing their bias once again towards EA and giving them grief for willfully deceiving their customer base. He simply went on a long-winded rant on why he personally hates EA. Further evidence that the gaming press magazines such as The Escapist and Destructoid have proven that they are biased when it comes to this situation would be the subject of a Flash game that showed up on Newgrounds where you could beat the living crap out of Anita Sarkeesian. The quotes that The Escapist provided were, Anita Sarkeesian has not only scammed thousands of people out of over $160,000, writes the game's maker, who goes by the handle of Bendlin. but also uses the excuse that she is a woman to get away with whatever she damn well pleases. Any form of constructive criticism, even from fellow women, is either ignored or labeled to be sexist against her. She claims to want gender equality in video games, but in reality, she wants to use the fact that she is born with a vagina to get free money and sympathy from everyone who crosses her path. This is directly from the Escapist magazine. I'm going to read you the actual quote from the Flash game. You can find this on SWF channel. It's not that hard. Who is Anita Sarkeesian? Anita Sarkeesian is a con artist who poses as a feminist on YouTube with her bias show, Feminist Frequency. Recently, she claimed she needed $6,000 in order to start a mini video series focusing on sexism towards women in video games. These videos would require no more money to produce or any more research than she puts into any of her previous YouTube videos. She just decided that the ad revenue from YouTube wasn't enough to line her pockets. She raised over $160,000 so far. Her videos have proven to have no research put into them whatsoever. She has effectively conned thousands of people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting equality for women. The problem is people like Anita are only selfishly looking out for their own benefits. They want all the perks that everyone else earns without any of the work or risk involved. Anita Sarkeesian is a person who scammed thousands of people who simply do not know any better, because she knows they do not know any better. Nothing she has done or ever will do will benefit anyone but herself. She has refused to address any form of criticism whatsoever, and she hides behind the fact that she has a vagina, claiming it's sexist to criticize her in any way. She claims to want equality. Well, here it is. There's been a disgustingly large imbalance of men who get beat up in games. Let's add a lady to help balance things out. The actual quote from the game versus what the Escapist would have you believe. The Escapist no longer is satisfied with misrepresenting the facts. The Structoid is no longer satisfied with misrepresenting the facts. The Huffington Post is no longer satisfied with misrepresenting the facts. They are now perfectly content to lying to you and myself directly to our faces in order to make anyone who dares say anything against Anita Sarkeesian look like a fool. The Escapist furthermore goes on to say they are glad that the video has been blamed, a way of being voted down and off the site, while they continue to this day to say anyone who voted against Anita or, try to get her videos flagged for hate speech or terrorism is in the wrong, when these same people on Newgrounds did the exact same thing.
Now, when you use the word bias, are you using it because you heard someone on N4G use it? Of course you are. And if you're using N4G as your basis of conversation, you're fucked, mate. No, the word bias is obviously personal preferences, and when you're doing a review, you have to use your personal preferences. You can't use someone else's personal preferences because you're not that person.
So, is there anything that can be done for the gaming press? Is the online gaming journalist scene going to die on the vine? Is it salvageable? Is there any way we can trust these people ever again? Some may say no. Some may say it's gone. Some may say that they are all bought and paid for through ad revenue and through incentives such as free gifts from guys like BioWare or EA to help color their perception when it comes to reviewing a product for the consumers to consume. I disagree. I think online gaming journalism can be saved. And here's how we can do it. The gaming journalists online need to wean themselves off of AAA advertisement money. Sad but true. If they are going to be taken seriously and take ammunition away from people who would discredit them by saying that they are bought and paid for, or at least heavily persuaded by the big money from guys like EA, BioWare, Activision, and so on and so forth. Don't take advertisement money from these guys. Don't take advertisement money from any developer. You want to fund the website? Here's how you do it. You take out ad space on your website and reserve it specifically for independent developers who are looking for fellow independent developers. Set up a classified section for the indie guys. This will not only pay for the website. If you charge these guys $20 a month and let them have as much space as they want for their ads, this will also encourage growth in the independent scene, thus encouraging more ideas, more fresh takes, more creativity when it comes to the gaming community. Second, when it comes to the actual articles that are written, when it comes to the actual investigation, when it comes to making a statement, we need people in the gaming press that can do basic research, that can do basic fact-checking, people that can look past one person's word, someone who is not willing to completely and utterly generalize the entire gaming community that disagrees with one person and categorize them all as the same type of person that would leave disgusting flame messages on one's Twitter or allegedly send death threats or threats of sexual assault to someone. We need people who can do basic research, who can actually look beyond one person's statement and do just a little bit of digging, just a little bit of fact-checking. And when it comes to the articles, when it comes to the reviews, for the sake of quality, we actually need people in the gaming press who are on staff who act as peer reviewers. If you put out an article, you have people that will look at your article, look at it for quality, look at it for content, look at it for basic fact check, making sure that all the facts are presented correctly and that all the news would simply rest on the facts and not just one person's opinion or statement. And we also need to have gaming journalists act like journalists. That is what we truly need. I got something to say, and I kill